unlikely people. He didn't have to come out there and do that. So you know what? I got to give it to Van Jones because trust me, Charlie Kirk had a respectful discourse with a lot of Dems, and they won't show you that. They won't show you that message. They'll sit there and let you think that he was just the most racist guy alive. That he didn't want to talk to nobody, or he just wanted to sit there and be condescending. No, he reached out to a lot of these Dems, just like he did to Van Jones. Except Van Jones was man enough to go out there and be like, "Yo, y'all need to kill the rhetoric," because he was actually a cool guy. But all right, guys, let's get into a bit of a comedic interlude with Bill Maher. Shout out Bill Maher.
And finally, new rule: we have to create a special 5 stages of grief just for mass shootings. The one we have: anger, denial, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. That's fine for personal grief. But if it's political at all, we should acknowledge our 5 stages really are: someone on your side definitely did it. This theory I saw on the internet proves I'm right. Fuck you, you're why everything is terrible. I know you are, what am I? And please don't be the same ethnic group as me.
Yeah.
What I'd like to do now is prove to you what a fool's errand it is to try and connect today's brand of nut who commits political murder to the other side. Take Ryan Ruth. He's the lying in the bushes weirdo who's on trial now for attempted assassination of President Trump. And he's representing himself. Always a great strategy, right?
A complete Ukraine radical. The man was trying to fight for Ukraine and all that good stuff. They didn't want him because he had, I guess, mental problems. And you also wanted to shoot Trump because, well, because of the rhetoric that was spread on the internet of Trump abandoning Ukraine, how he was really working for Putin. And this guy just being so pro-Ukraine couldn't stand with what the left-wing media was saying about Trump and Ukraine. And he admitted that, well, that's why he shot Trump, because he believed that Trump was going to pretty much give over Ukraine to Putin. And you know what? Even though there was no controlling it, even though Trump had no control over this, that's kind of what ended up happening anyway.
Right up there with doing your own
Russia
dentistry.
taking control of Ukraine, basically.
He started his courtroom presentation by saying, "Why are we here? Is it not to care for one another and to hold one another? Because nothing says care for one another like pointing a gun at someone's head while they're golfing." What? Like all these killers, his politics was all over the map. He somehow supported both Bernie Sanders and Vivek Ramaswamy, 2 guys who you couldn't sit next to each other at a wedding. And his choice in 2016 was Trump. And then he tried to kill him. So I guess he's a swing voter.
Yeah. Like I said, honestly, he literally voted for Trump because he said Trump is going to stop the war day 1 in Ukraine when that didn't happen. And he's seen that the war wasn't going in Ukraine's favor. And he's hearing all over the media that, oh, Trump is actually working for Putin. He's about to let Ukraine go. He's not there for Ukraine. This guy, being the Ukraine radical that he is, went out there and attempted to shoot Trump. Well, staked out in the bush, waiting for Trump to fall into position.
His politics are so in the weeds, he was literally in the weeds. Trump's other would-be assassin, Thomas Crooks, a.k.a. McLovin, had donated money to Democrats. So Republicans said, well, there you go. A liberal who took it too far and wanted Trump dead. Except investigators believe Crooks left hundreds of social media comments that were anti-immigrant. Then why shoot the most anti-immigrant president we ever had? And
he also, I ain't gonna lie, Crick, he was kind of confusing because he also donated to Act Blue as well.
Crooks, a registered Republican, had also been researching Biden's travel schedule. So it looks like he would have been just as happy to shoot him. Wow. Princess Kate, who it seems he'd been casing as a potential target. So he was the worst kind of lone gunman, a slut. On his voter registration, he checked it's complicated.
Makes sense.
That's why this is such a tedious game. Always hunting for evidence that whatever killer it is had whatever politics are the opposite of yours. trying to prove that because this week's chinless incel voted for Dr. Oz, it means something. It doesn't. What this is really about is a hole in the soul and broken families and gun glorification.
Honestly, what it is really about is not about their political affiliation. It's about like, what do they listen to? Who do they hear? What are they writing online? Because their political affiliation, I mean, that doesn't really tell too much about them. To be quite honest with you, some people forget to change their political affiliation. They forget to register out, like they forget to, unregister themselves as a Republican or unregister themselves as a Democrat. So their political affiliation doesn't really mean much in my eyes. When their family starts coming out, when their family history starts coming out, friends, where they lived at, school, I mean, did he have a girlfriend or a transgender partner? Things like that matter to me more than, oh, he's a Republican or a registered Republican or, oh, registered Democrat. I'm like, I don't really care about that. I want to know more about the man's lifestyle and what groups he was engaged in before I make, that assessment on where he leaned.
And getting brain raped by the internet. David DePape was, according to the Chronicle, a hemp jewelry maker and pro-nudity activist from San Francisco. Would you peg that guy as likely to break into Nancy Pelosi's house and try to kill her husband with a hammer? Well, he did, because he also believed in QAnon. And
I mean, this guy was all over the place too. Hemp jewelry and a stretch of pro-nudity activism. I mean, come on, bro. That's pretty damn liberal, but his mindset was all over the place because he believed in, I guess, right-wing conspiracy theories.
Would you peg that guy as likely to break into Nancy Pelosi's house and try to kill her husband with a hammer? Well, he did, because he also believed in QAnon and Pizzagate, and the Jews bankrolled Hitler. Because he's not Antifa or MAGA, he's Gaga. So was Cody Balmer, who set fire to the house of the governor of Pennsylvania, as one does when you're fed up with politics. Cody sure was. He once shared a meme that said, both Democrats and Republicans would rather argue with each other than work to solve the problems we are facing. Exactly, Cody. A pox on both their houses, which I'll now start burning down.
He took it there.
It's not about politics. Have you people really never had a bipolar girlfriend?
True. It's like some people act like they ain't never met a crazy person before. It just has to be about politics. It just had to be on the right or the left. It's like, nah, sometimes people are just mentally ill. Like, honestly, I hate to go back to it, like the case with the guy on the subway. I mean, people want to make it about black, liberal, and all this good stuff, but nah, it's just a mentally ill person who shouldn't have been let out of jail. And if people want to make it about race, well, let them do that. I really don't care. They have something else they're going for there. They're not really searching for the truth. They're just searching for a racial dysfunction or increased racial tension. And I don't like people like that, to be quite honest. I hate people who try to fuel division instead of trying to fuel understanding.
Last month brought us the Minnesota church killer, Robin Westman, born Robert Westman. So naturally, the conservatives were like, see, trans. That's some of that out there liberal shit. See, this is what you get. Well, no, that's not why we got what we got. Trans was not the cause of this. Now, maybe Robin really was trans, or maybe trans.
No, he was trans, but you know what? We're not going to sit here and say that every trans person is going to go out there and shoot children. I mean, that would be ridiculous.
Was one in a series of solutions that she tried on to fix her chronic unhealth.
Nah, yeah, you're right. It wasn't because he was trans. It was because, well, his leftist ideology. It was his ideology altogether, the way he lived his lifestyle, the way he interacted online and with other people. That's why we came out with the whole, this is a left-wing radical guy. I mean, he's a guy who's sitting there, who made a video, breathing heavily, showing off all types of guns, having all types of hateful language on the guns, got Jesus on a shooting board. I mean, to be honest with you, the way you liberals argue, and it sounds like your guy.
Happiness. The joke is on you if you think you can decipher someone's manifesto that made about as much sense as Britney Spears' Instagram. She displayed a Defend Equality sticker with the LGBT flag, which is very woke, but then also spoke of her hatred for filthy Zionist Jews. But then again, so did everyone at the Emmys.
I mean, come on now. Due to the current political, due to, well, the way people are viewing Israel right now, there's criticisms on both sides. If we're going to sit there and say that only the left criticize Israel, that's being completely disingenuous. I mean, you're being like disingenuous at that point. Like, come on now. Both sides criticize Israel heavily. The problem is that it's normal to criticize Israel on the left, and you're kind of like, I don't know, you're kind of like a Nick Fuentes. You're kind of like thrown in a barn somewhere in the backyard, hidden from, mainstream right. But there are people who do criticize Israel on the right, but they just throw us in the back of the shed in the backyard and, don't tell nobody about us. It is what it is.
And now Tyler Robinson. And again, we have to play the game where we each day find a tidbit about another confused, knowledge-free, I want you to hurt like I do, asshole, searching for a reason to do something insane so he can LOL over watching the supposedly sane people try to make sense of it. A kid brought up conservative in Utah who looks like every white kid who holds a rifle on a Republican's Christmas card.
Facts. Well,
shoots a conservative. Was he rebelling against his family? Very possibly. Confused feelings about his trans relationship? Not unlikely. Plus, violence in movies? And getting used to murdering things from hunting? And putting kids on Prozac when they're 12 and seed oils and whatever. Politics? I wish this was about politics. It's actually so much worse. It's about nihilism, about not believing anything, about living in an online world that's one big inside joke about how stupid and useless is the America that conventional people of both parties are still living in.
There's an extreme amount of nihilism. It's like, bro, nothing good happened for the American people. Anything Trump does, people paint the worst case scenario, like with the trade war. Like, bro, with the tariffs in the first round in April, like people were literally saying that, the economy is about to be done for by July, complete doomsday scenario. All countries are going to turn their back on us. It's going to be America on their own. The economy is going to fail. That was the complete nihilism that you guys had for your own country. So, if we got people that's like that, who just always has a negative perspective, who don't ever see a good, who don't ever see the light in people, then, we're going to have more situations like this.
Kid cared about furries, not foreign policy. Because in America, life isn't black and white. It's 50 shades of gray.
All right, that was a good joke to kind of end it off on. 50 Shades of Grey is pretty accurate. That's pretty accurate assessment of what's going on out here. I mean, man, I'll give it to him. Like, we do need to focus more on this mental health crisis than trying to blame a political party.
New tonight, Poland and NATO scrambling military
that we want to address until we want to try to blame a political party.
Jets as Russia launches a massive assault on Ukraine from the air. The Russian strikes hit several locations across Ukraine, including close to Poland's border. Just a day earlier, NATO intercepted 3 Russian fighter jets that flew into Estonia's airspace for 12 minutes. That's according to that country's foreign ministry. Let's get some analysis now from CNN senior military analyst and former NATO Supreme Allied Commander Admiral James Stavridis. He's also a partner at the investment firm, the Carlyle Group. Admiral, always great to see you. The Estonian Prime Minister says his country has requested NATO Article 4 consultations after he described this violation as totally unacceptable. We'd seen an Article 4 just a week or so ago after some drones flew into Polish airspace, and intelligence officials are still trying to determine whether the Kremlin sent those intentionally or not. What would these Article 4 consultations, you think, entail?
First and foremost, it's a total of 19 drones that flew into Poland. Seems highly unlikely to me that's accidental. And certainly manned aircraft breaking NATO borders, as you just reported, is hard to see as anything other than intentional. And I think there are reports also, Boris, of drones, Russian drones over Romania. So that's 3 examples in the last 5 days. The Article 4 consultations will set up NATO's response to these continuing incursions, and it should. Look, Putin is doing three things. He's trying to test the air defenses tactically, see how capable NATO is of responding. Number two, he's trying to get NATO to say, well, maybe we shouldn't send all that air defense equipment to Ukraine because we got Russia banging on our door. And thirdly, he's trying to create some divisions in the alliance as nations will have different reactions and different levels of response.
Now, still, Putin denies that he's trying to attack any of these guys. Well, he's trying to attack Poland. He denies it. Poland says, no, it's him. I do believe that this may be a false flag situation to try to get Poland to help Ukraine, or it could be exactly what this man is saying. And this is just some, like, I guess, chess move to try to split up the forces or try to split up NATO spending so it's easier to kind of conquer Ukraine. And like I said, Russia is already making advances in Ukraine. They already broke through the front line. They're already attacking inside Kiev. It's looking pretty bad.
Generally, the further east you go, the closer you are to Russia, the more likely you are to want those Article 4 consultations to say, let's put up a pretty stern response to Russia that goes beyond just a memo. Let's get some jets in the air and get ready for action.
You wrote in a piece, an op-ed piece for Bloomberg this week, that these brazen incursions demand a NATO response in the skies. What are you hoping to see?
Number one, the alliance increase its air defense posture. They're doing that. It's going to be called Operation Eastern Sentry. Number two, get our air defenses up along NATO borders and in NATO capitals, but also continue to strengthen the Ukrainians. And third, tell Russia the next time one of your jets or drones fly over NATO airspace, we're going to shoot it down. I think this demands a kinetic response. I recognize that has the risk of escalation, but we need to remember who the aggressor is here. It's Moscow, not Brussels.
I don't know. I think we honestly need to figure out who's actually sending these drones instead of just assuming that it's Russia. I mean, here's the thing. We need to look at evidence that whatever Poland provided, we need to see it. If it's Russia, please prove that. Because right now, it does look like this might be a false flag operation to get Poland to help Ukraine or some poor NATO country to help Ukraine and put boots on the ground for Ukraine and get their ass killed just like the Ukrainians are. I mean, and here's the thing. This is not me supporting it or this is not me being pro-Russian. This is me understanding the reality that there was no way Ukraine was going to be the superpower. But all right, let's get over here.
We saw the Trump administration target Jimmy Kimmel, bringing the full weight of a federal agency against him. We also saw some Republicans unleash vile, racist, and threatening rhetoric toward Congresswoman Ilhan Omar after her comments on Charlie Kirk's assassination. Congresswoman Nancy Mace led an effort.
I will admit, it was Laura Loomer. Now, Laura Loomer, oh gosh, she hates every Muslim. Like, if we want to talk about a real Islamophobe on the right, it's Laura Loomer. I'll give you guys that. If you want to talk about, you guys got Islamophobes, I'm like, yeah, you're right. We got Laura Loomer, but it ain't all of us.
To censure Omar. It ultimately failed, but that only fueled even more grotesque and hateful language, not just from people like conspiracy theorist Laura Loomer and Republican Congresswoman or Congressman Randy Fine, who are calling for her to be banned from Congress and even deported, but also direct.
I mean, here's the thing. If it was any other senators besides the two most pro-Israeli senators in the world, I mean, Randy Fine, I mean, look, bro, Randy Fine is something different. This man was literally out here championing the killing of kids. So I can never get down with somebody like that. Laura Loomer, I mean, she wasn't out there championing the killing of kids, but she just hates Islam. I'm just gonna be real with you. She just hates Islam. It is what it is. And she is pro-Israel. But that's not bad though. But the hatred of Islam is a bit crazy. This guy, he's despicable.
Directly from the president himself. President Trump went on social media and basically had a tirade targeting Omar and her home country, Somalia, saying in part, what scum do we have in our country? And on Thursday, aboard Air Force One.
So Omar's country of Somalia is plagued by a lack of central government control, which is kind of our fault, to be quite honest. Present poverty, hunger, reinsurgent terrorism, piracy, decades of civil war, corruption, and pervasion of violence. 70% of the population lives in extreme poverty and widespread flood insecurity. And I'm be real with you, their academics and their athletics wasn't doing too well either. Somalia is consistently ranked among the world's most corrupt countries, which is true, including bribery, embezzlement, and dysfunctional government. And that dysfunctional government part is a bit of our fault, but hey, it is what it is.
He said this.
I love these people that come from a place with nothing.
Hey, but that still doesn't mean you get to come over here and disrespect American people and try to call us idiots. I mean, sis, like, come on now. Like, you come from Somalia, people who have not developed their country yet. There's really no real government in Somalia. The reason you guys are flooding over here is because your country's falling apart. And you're right. Americans did have a part to play in that. But y'all could have fixed yourselves at a certain point. At a certain point, y'all could have got yourselves together.
Nothing, no anything. And then they tell us how to run our country. No, I think if she got censored, that's great. If she got impeached, that's even better. They impeached me twice for nothing. And they impeached me knowing the Republicans are on my side.
Congresswoman Omar is back here with us.
You know, and people do say, like, well, why do people always blame America for their dysfunction? Because we kind of started it, even though they could have fixed it. We definitely did started their path to dysfunction. That's damn near every terrible country in the Middle East. I mean, and like half the countries in Africa have damn near been set into poverty due to European extortion of their resources. So yeah, I mean, I always do say the liberals do have an argument when they talk about, you know, colonialism, but I always hit them with this. You're right, but what's keeping these people from fixing? A lot of these guys kick these guys out of the country, stop the corruption of another country, but then they fall in to their own damn type of corruption. And then they're screwing themselves up once they got supposedly once they got the colonizers out. So it's like both sides of the arguments is right. Like, yeah, the whole, you know, colonist thing or colonizing thing did start off their whole plague of poverty. But once the colonizers left, yeah, I kind of lost the excuse, especially 50 years out from it.
So I guess we'll begin with your reaction to the language we just heard from the president there. But also I want to ask how you are doing. You've been attacked by the president, by a colleague whose office is right next door to yours, Congresswoman Nancy Mace. I know that you have received messages and voicemails from people threatening you. How are you holding up first?
You know, I've been here before. I've been the target of the president in the most vile, bigoted, racist ways.
It would be Minnesota. That is hilarious. Yeah. It's just funny because Minnesota is like Somali ran, so it's crazy. It's like all the Somalis came from hot ass Somali and moved into cold ass Minnesota.
That you could imagine, and I've had to have full police detail because of that. So it is surprising that he's back at it because I thought he's moved on and found new person to harass. But here's, you know, a president that is always unhinged, always deranged, always creating chaos and division. And he seems to have a real obsession with anyone that is and
shout out to my man Fox Chase. He says, yo, heard this is where all the cult followers are. I mean, hey man, welcome back. Welcome back, brother Fox Chase. Let me get you your cloak back real quick, man. You know, you gotta get your cult attire up.
An immigrant in this country that is not of European descent. You don't hear him talking about the accent of his wife and, you know, the fact that she came here as an immigrant or any of those things.
Yeah, but Omar, the problem is that you have more respect for the country that, well, I'm be real with you, strips rights away from you, strip freedom away from you. And if you was over there, you'd probably be plagued by poverty, but you're in America. And because you're in America, you're in this high-ranking position. You're not broke. Your family's doing well because of your position. And this only could have happened because you were where? In America, not Somalia. If you were in Somalia, you would be in destitute poverty for sure. So I would like all these guys who are coming from these poverty-stricken countries, that when you come over here, you need to show some respect for this country. Because and I know you hate to hear this, but if you were over there, what would your life be like? Okay, then. So wave your American flag and thank God for your prosperity.
That she gets to have an opinion, even though nobody elected her into office. But he has an objection to a person who does serve over 700,000 constituents in Congress, who's literally elected, has the same certificate as he does. But I think for me is I feel embarrassed for him, because in these attacks, what he does, and I think with the likes of Nancy Mace, and whoever that Randy guy is, they expose themselves for how stupid they are. And that is embarrassing for us as a country, because these are people who are elected to positions of leadership. He's supposed to be the president of the United States, who's heading off to Europe to represent us. When he does, he's uneducated enough to understand that members of Congress can't be impeached. You know, when you have Nancy and Randy saying, you know, we're on it, we're going to impeach her.
No, lady, they weren't trying to impeach you. They were trying to get you kicked off committees. We know we can't remove you. I mean, trust me, nobody's going for removing this young lady. She's actually being, honestly, I don't know if she's lying about it or maybe she read the paperwork wrong. But no, they're trying to remove her off committees, not trying to remove her as a congresswoman.
They're saying
I mean, shoot, you couldn't be a congressperson and not be on certain committees. Like, it is what it is.
Going to deport me, knowing full well that you cannot deport an American citizen. What that displays for not just Americans, but folks on an international platform is that our country is being led by idiots. And that is not something that we should be comfortable with as Americans. And that's not something that should make us proud.
And this is why we need debate, because it's people that talk like her that don't debate. It's like, you say our country ran by idiots. Prove it, sweetheart. Prove it. I want you to go in front of these people and debate them on their ideas. I mean, I will go in front of Laura Loomer, go in front of Nancy Mace. Like, honestly, we damn near need almost like a debate channel where politicians come on and debate each other from the right and the left, like almost every week. So we can hear these guys defend each other. I mean, defend their positions, because what she's saying right now, she's kind of already killing the conversation. Like, oh, everybody on my side is idiots. I'm like, sweetheart, that's the same type of rhetoric that you fueled into everybody on the left. They don't think that we're intelligent. They think that they're idiots, and they don't think that they have to talk to us. And this is one of the reasons why we got a Charlie Kirk situation. So this attitude right here, it doesn't do anybody any good. So I don't know why she's even doing this. I mean, like, why don't y'all just talk to these people? I mean, don't talk to Randy Fine, because I mean, I'll admit that you can't talk to Randy Fine, you can't talk to Laura Loomer, but you could talk to Nancy Mace at least.
And so,
but then here's the thing, though. I mean, you kind of had some crazy rhetoric towards Charlie Kirk, and they were kind of close. So, like I said, when you kind of, I wouldn't say insulting the dead. They're not insulting, but they are being very insensitive. What do you expect? Like, what do you expect?
In this moment, I feel great sadness as an American that these are the kind of people that the world gets to see representing us.
So what do you think is at play here then? If these people are, as you say, idiots and don't understand the kind of basic response.
I mean, and yeah, how'd you guys lose an election to a bunch of idiots? Like, what does that make you guys retarded? Like, think about this, Dems. If you lost to a bunch of idiots, then what does that make you? That must make y'all some retarded ass people, to be honest with you. If you lost to a bunch of idiots, then that makes you guys retarded. How'd y'all lose to idiots? How'd y'all lose to the dumb guy? Like, if we're just so goddamn dumb, then how do we out-debate you? How do we outmaneuver you on the political field? How do we get more people to vote for us? If we're just idiots, then y'all must be retarded then if you lost to the idiots.
Responsibilities they either have and the powers that they have in Congress or in the presidency. What do you think is the animating factor behind why they come after you with such venom and vitriol?
Yeah, it's to gin up hate and then to turn it around, to be able to raise money, to rattle their base. And I think ultimately is to get...
Honestly, bro, it's kind of like making fun of somebody. Like, let's say you're in class and somebody got a C and you called them an idiot, right? You're calling this guy an idiot for getting a C on a test, but you're over here sitting there with a D on that very test. That's how the Dems sound right now by calling us idiots. I mean, like, yeah, we may not be doing so well ourselves, but you're doing way worse than us. But you're criticizing us, though. I mean, y'all might want to work on yourselves. Like, we won the election, y'all lost voters, we gained voters. Remember that part.
Get enough people to bully us into silence. And I would have hoped by now that they have learned that one thing, they are not going to succeed in silencing my voice. I have the honor and privilege of representing Minnesotans who I love, who've welcomed my family, who helped raise and educate me, and who have given me the opportunity, the privilege, the honor of representing them in the United States Congress. So that is what I bring with me every single day as I walk on those halls, knowing that there are great Americans who have faith in me to carry their voice, to fight, to make sure that they are able to afford their lives. You know, this is a president right now that's presiding over an economy that is not working for anyone. It's getting worse for everyone. He has no understanding of how tariffs work and how those are hidden taxes on Americans.
I mean, then, okay, so when you guys want to raise a corporate tax and tax on unrealized gains and increase taxes on the rich, couldn't that have been increased taxes? Can they pass that down to the customer? So y'all are not even consistent with your argument. You say you don't know what tariffs is, but you guys were the wrong. You guys were the one who was wrong about the outcome of tariffs. You guys said, one, they weren't going to bring in no money. Two, they were going to be inflationary. I mean, and three, the economy was going to be in an economic downturn. By the 4th of July, we've seen positive job growth by the 4th of July. Inflation was about like what? 2.5, 2.6%, and the economy was seeing record numbers. You guys are wrong about all that. So let me ask you, are you sure you know what a tariff is since you got everything wrong about the effects of it? Are you sure you know?
I represent Minnesota, where our farmers are feeling severe economic pain because we have, $22 billion in trade with Canada. So we are in pain as Minnesotans, not only because our healthcare is being threatened, not only there's food insecurity that is under threat right now.
I mean, sweetheart, if you don't like here so much, you could always go back to Somalia.
Not only are we dealing with ICE terrorizing people and creating job shortages, but we're also feeling the economic pain of what these tariffs are doing to the economic vitality of our incredible state.
So, Congresswoman, I do want to go back to this week, though, because after Trump attacked you, Laura Loomer.
I mean, look, sis, we're going to have to act like a medieval doctor in here, okay? We got to bleed out. We got to bleed out all the immigrants, get them all up out of here, create more jobs for the American people. Bring more jobs in for the American people, and then there you go. We're gonna have a job boom, economic prosperity, and give it about 1.5 years, and you'll be in a lot better place. Have some patience.
She got on Twitter and she tweeted that you should be, quote, charged with aiding and abetting terrorism, which is a pretty huge charge, and there is no evidence connecting you.
Okay, Laura Loomer, of course. I mean, bro, she hates Muslims so much, she says the most ridiculous things. And if you get her outside of her Islamophobia, she's actually a pretty agreeable person. She's actually pretty smart and does great journalism. But, get her on the topic of Muslims. It's a wrap. It's like Nick Fuentes when he talks about Jews. It's like, the rhetoric get a little wild. But, hey, it is what it is. And shout out to my man, Joe's Oliveira. He says, name the top 5 most logically secured Republicans. Top 5 most logically secured Republicans. You know what? Thomas Massey's actually a pretty good one. I have to give that one. Thomas Massey. Let's see here. Governor DeWine. My governor, he's actually pretty chill. I mean, you could count JD Vance. Shit. I mean, here's the thing. Anybody I say, would you agree with? But yeah, logically secured Republicans. I mean, Ron Paul. Yeah, Ron Paul for sure. I'm sorry I had to steal that one cold to great, but that's actually a good one. So yeah, there's a lot of logically secured Republicans. Now, if you ask me to name the logically secured Democrats, I might have to look some up right there. I mean, I could probably name a few, but if you can, I would say this. Can you find me a Democrat that doesn't have TDS? Like, you name me one Democrat that just doesn't have outrageous rhetoric about Trump that says Trump could just do no wrong. Can you find me one Democrat that's like that? Like, just one, bro. Just one. Like, let me believe in y'all again. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Fox. Fetterman.
Any terrorism. So my question to you is, in light of the spike in political violence
true,
and in light of all of these calls for civility, do you consider that rhetoric to be incendiary and to up the threat level to you? And at what point does it cross the line from free speech, people can say anything, to harassment?
Yeah. I mean, I think when you have sitting members of Congress, calling me enemy of the state, when you constantly have people saying I'm a domestic terrorist or I'm a terrorist, it is scary because we know that they have a base that is reacting to it. I mean, you can tell that by the voicemails that we're getting. You can tell that by the number of people.
I don't think she's a terrorist. I think she has an anti-American rhetoric. She's very anti-American rhetoric, and a lot of people don't appreciate it, seeing that she comes from she holds the country that I'm going to say this, the country that she left that was economically unstable, because I ain't going to say that she don't love her country more than America. I'm going to sit here and admit that. I know she loves her country more than America, and honestly, that's fine. But show the country where you have the most prosperity some respect. I mean, the only reason why you're even able to stand up here is because you're in America. In Somalia, sweetheart, you're in the kitchen, okay? You're in the kitchen with 3-4 kids. Maybe some of our women should practice that as well. But y'all get my point.
That have been incarcerated over the years for threatening to kill me, some that have had many weapons in their disposal. And so this is a constant threat that we live under because, these people are not saying, they don't agree with our rhetoric or, what we say is stupid or whatever, which they also do. But they're literally saying we are a threat to the fabric of this nation. And that, I believe, is an incitement for someone to take action, and that is very dangerous. And I do hope Speaker Mike Johnson takes that.
Actually, I do hope I hope nobody touches a hair on this young lady's head. At the end of the day, I hope nobody touches a hair on her head, and if they do, I'm gonna be highly upset. And like I said, I disagree with the young lady, but I don't believe she should ever be targeted, harmed in any way, shape, or form. I mean, maybe yelled at, but harmed? Hell no.
As seriously as Speaker Pelosi did.
What about the Democrats? To follow up, though, specifically with that. So she is a private citizen. Mm-hmm. Would you ever consider suing for defamation? It's a super high bar since you are a public figure, but do you think you could make a case in court that would you ever consider doing that? Or do you think that free speech in America is sacrosanct and you're just not going to litigate it?
Well, one, I do think freedom of speech is sacrosanct. But I also know that defamations when it comes to public servants is really hard to win. And I have consulted with lawyers before, and outside of draining me for, little resources that I have and tying up our time, I don't think that there are greater chances of getting these cases even into litigation, just because of how our defamation clause are created and litigated for public servants.
What about your Democratic colleagues? Have they done enough to defend and protect you?
I've been blessed, I would say, in many ways when it comes to like these kind of outright vitriol that I have faced from the right. There has been times where Democrats themselves have created an environment that hasn't been the best. They've learned from that, and I am really grateful that in this moment they are collectively raising their voices and speaking to the danger.
Even top leadership,
yes,
Jeffries,
yes,
Schumer.
He issued a statement yesterday or a day before about some of these statements. And I think it is important for people to denounce them. It's important for people, especially those that are in power, to speak to the danger as we now, take a closer look of what happened to my dear friend, Melissa Horman, and her husband, John Hoffman, and his wife, and what happened to Charlie Kirk. I think it's important for us to say, like, this level of vitriol can produce dangerous results. And those of us who are in the public eye have a responsibility to not use language that has formally created opportunities for people to be extinct.
Congresswoman Ilhan Omar, thank you so much.
I mean, like I said, I don't think anybody's really aiming for this young lady right now. She made some insensitive comments about Charlie Kirk, so they're at her neck. And of course, they're bringing up some of her old tweets about her being more proud to be a Somalian than an American. But, I think that might have been a bit, misread, even though she put her being proud of Somali first. But hey, shout out to Daniel Castro. Shout out to America First Patriots. We are the captain now. Exactly. I think that's what the Dems also need to hop on too. It should be about America first, and instead of people kind of, standing up for. Here's the thing: I don't mind her standing up for Somalian and her people and all that good stuff. But when you got to downplay Americans, then that's just saying this, sis. And at that point, like, bro, just go back to your own country. If you guys feel like you have something so great over there, then go back. And then let's be real, you guys are the richest group of Somalians right now because you're in the U.S. So go back and put some of that money into your country. I mean, it could work. I mean, the pirates might not take it.
For coming in and talking to us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm just saying they might not. There's no promises, but you might be protected up there. But all right, guys, let's go ahead and get into the next video here. There we go.
Joining me now from Tel Aviv is retired four-star General Jack Keane, Fox News senior strategic analyst and chairman of the Institute for the Study of War. General, always good to have you with us today. Let's put this map up, everybody, so we can take a look at the area of these Russian fighter jets and where they entered Estonian airspace. And General, also just this afternoon, the Polish border guard reporting that a pair of Russian fighter jets are performing low passes over Poland's Petro-Baltic oil platform in the